We will start in 10 minutes. Hula solidarity for laid off workers. I'm also laid off. I have been laid off many times, not just once, and it's okay for me. I think this is the last laid off I had that is not quite so bitter for me. In fact, I even offered myself so that my crewmates can have a shift. Not that I don't need any money. Hello there. Please stay on and watch for this to show your solidarity with the laid off workers. There are invited members from a union in Toronto who are coming to watch this because this is for them. But I don't want to politicize this, okay? While others are so much stressed about the situation, I think this is the most, for me, this is like a silver lining. I'm not actually stressed, but with so much joy in me, with so much compassion, I guess, for humanity because of what is happening around, I think I have more capacity to understand what other people are going through. So, malawak yung pangunawa ko, malawak yung compassion ko. Rachel, please stay on. I will be doing my show in a while. Please stay on and show your support for our workers who will be logging in maybe in 5 or 10 minutes. And most of these workers, they're part of a union. I don't know, I forgot the name of the union. I don't know, even when I was a youth minister, the workers have always a special part in me, okay? So, because I was educated at Asian Social Institute, and Asian Social Institute was founded by Father Francis Senden. And Father Francis Senden, these are, they call themselves the Congregations of the Immaculate Heart of Mary. These are Belgians, and they were one of the proponents or organizers of many workers group in the Philippines. One of them are the young Christian workers. And I guess I owe it to the young Christian workers whatever I believe, like in the social doctrines of the church. And it's because of them that my spirituality is also shaped by the young Christian workers, especially through the Asian Social Institutes. That's why I owe this to Asian Social Institute, particularly to Dr. Mina Ramirez. Maybe without that spirituality, I won't be able to have this heart for the marginalized. And I remember before I joined the Redemptorists, because I almost joined the Redemptorists. The motivation then was always to go for the poor and the most abandoned. And many of the seminarians, including myself then, were doing our immersions among the labor sector among peasants. That's why I took sociology as my undergraduate. 5 more minutes. I'm just telling you my background, why I'm doing this. Okay. So that's why I was educated with that kind of principle, with so much emphasis on social justice. And then I became a youth minister. And then later on I became a sociologist. and I work at the Archdiocese of Manila and help the Archdiocese of Manila in on their research until such time when they needed me to organize the youth, because I was already organizing the youth before then at the Diocese of Imus, helping the parish of Imus to build their youth group. And I know that one of my emphasis then was also social justice. Okay, so but everything social justice within the bound of principles of love and compassion. So and also as the praxis then was to see the reality, act upon the reality, act upon the reality upon judgment of what is good for the what's happening in the reality. See, judge, and act, they say. And that was the method that we are doing also when I went to the Ministry for Youth Affairs and helped the Bishop Sok doing the organizing of the youth then. Okay, that's the history. And always, every time I do my organizing work, the dance always has a special place in the ministry. That's why, siguro, if I have my co-ministers here, I added them here, and they added me, and then maybe they can attest that every time we have such gatherings, there's always a live band. Live band, I always love live bands, and they will always bring me to dance, okay? And even when I was into salsa, before I go through salsa, may 5 minutes pa ako eh. Habang hinihintay natin yung iba. Before I went to salsa, I didn't do salsa just simply because I like doing it. But I did salsa simply because I was searching, maybe searching for my identity, my roots, right? Like that. And what attracted me to salsa is the roots of salsa, the spiritual origin. And then since I've seen how the Rueda is able also to help me in organizing the students, especially my salsa students then, so I find it more relevant to teach Rueda. But then later on, sometimes there's a need to move on, especially when you find something much more meaningful and much more meaningful in my search. There's a time when I discover hula. It's because that is searching for meaning for myself, who I am, like that. And likewise, meaning in the dance that I do. I got so tired of dancing without meaning, although the dance could really induce in me that energy, that hype, that euphoria, But then when I started to dance hula, it started first by getting attracted to how hula is danced. That's how it started. It's almost like similar to the movements of the hips in salsa, but there is more, let's say, sensuality, and there is more passion. And then I said, I might try doing this. At first, I got turned off to hula because they are too much engrossed on their love for the Hawaiian culture. But then I said, I will try to study why that passion for their culture. It's not just a dance, but a passion for their culture. And that's when I started to understand. It's because our roots is in our culture. Our rootedness is in our culture. Our life is in our culture. And then so I reflect back into myself, how were we doing about this? Because I came from Manila, I am a Tagalog, but the reason why I began to like salsa simply because it reflects my it reminds me of my memories of my uncles and aunties doing the dance during the younger days. But then later on, they are not dancing it anymore, right? So, and likewise, I'm also partly Hispanic. So I was trying to look into my rootedness. But when I started to be doing hula, I discovered more into this, into hula. And that is the message of aloha, the message of compassion, the message of respect, the message of perseverance, the message of gentleness, the message of hope. And when I look into this message of aloha, and then I began to realize these are the same message, that these are the same values that we follow in our Asian values, especially Filipino values. And then when I started learning to sing their songs, then I discovered there are some words in their songs that are very much similar to how we express also in Tagalog. And so that's slowly I am immersing myself into this culture of the Hawaiians, and then seeing myself, my people, the history of my people, somewhat, yung bang, there's some congruence to their culture and our culture, because I am Asian and they are too. Especially when I look into their history, that's where the mystery comes, you know. And surprisingly, those who inspired me to go to hula, to get into hula, are also Filipino Hawaiians. That's why it's so easy for me to fall in love with this dance and with this culture. And then I was saying, what have we lost as Filipinos? That we have not retained most of these dances that we had in the past. That the memories that I had of the dances were only Hispanic dances. And I feel envy for those Igorot, the Ifugaos, and even the Maranaos who have preserved their customs and their language. While me, myself, because I'm from the Tagalog region, we have not preserved all these things. When the colonizers came, and then we go into their influences. How come that the Hawaiians did not have that? How come? So here, when I get to learn the history of Hawaii. Now, before talking to you about this history of Hawaii, I'd like to introduce to you the topic for tonight, and which is in solidarity with the workers. Okay? So that you will understand what is the connection between what I am saying about Hawaii and the struggle of workers here. There's very much connection. That's why I'm doing this. In Hawaii, this solidarity is called what's this? Huliamahi? I forgot the term again. But it has something to do with Aloha Ania. Aloha Ayana. Aloha Ayana is a concept of cosmology, you know. And when I started to learn what Aloha Ayana really means, then that's the time when I began to realize that it is more than how we look at Hawaii. It's not just Hawaii. It's about how we care creation, how we care about each other, and how we care nature. Sustaining this relationship between us, and not only between us, not only between nature, but also between but also on how we look at meaning, our meaning system, and especially with those that gives meaning to us, our spirituality. And the good thing with Hawaii, with their culture is that I have learned to be tolerance, even in spirituality. And with this tolerance, I began to understand more about my spirituality too. So, aloha aina. Aina means land. Aloha is a principle of love, compassion, forgiveness, and taking care. That's aloha. And then you combine the two, it means um, a caring for this environment. Okay. And what has something, what does, how is this related to solidarity? In solidarity, there is a need for people to be coming together in order for us to bring about this aloha eina. Okay. And because in the spirit of aloha, the spirit of compassion, sometimes we need to stop and to listen, stop and listen. Now, there are many problems happening now. Like, for example, the union, the workers. Many of us may react strongly against this certain person, Sinim, and then it's simply because we are only looking only on one side of reality. We are not looking into the bigger side of the reality. We were thinking that she is only thinking about herself, but we are not seeing that there is a bigger reality here, and which is the union itself, the union that is trying to protect the workers. Okay. Now these movements that's trying to protect us, that trying to protect the workers, that's trying to negotiate, to improve our lives here. These are all parts of the works of Aloha Ina. And likewise, even Nim is also doing her part to bring about this change in society, which this change in society is what Aloha Ina is. And the problem is that some people react, and the way they react is not really good. This is not a sign of Aloha Ina. But as myself, if I see myself someone that is enlightened, then I will look deeper and listen why these people are reacting like this, right? It's because they could feel also the same pain. But I realized myself too when the first time I heard her saying about how she feel that the $2,000 is not enough for her. I feel quite irritated, but then I said, listen, you have to listen. What is the meaning? I might feel blessed and gratitude of having that gift, right? Of being given at $2,000, but because I don't need so much, right? But to some people who need that much, it might not be enough. But who am I? Who am I to condemn her, right? Who am I? If I question myself of condemning her, why should I not question those people who condemns her? Because what rights do they have to condemn someone who on this time is also experiencing the same, right? Because all of us are experiencing the same hardship. We are experiencing the same pandemic, right? And some people are complaining, some people are rising up, but who are we to question them from doing this just simply because we cannot speak up, right? Well, if we cannot speak up, there's a problem with us, right? Because we have a voice to use given to us so that we can use, right, to speak up. But the problem is the way how we are going to use this. Are we going to use this to build up people, or are we going to use this to destroy each other? That's a difference. I think I have blocked I have kicked out some of my friends who have been stressful for me during these past few days because of how they bullied this meme. I have done that. And I have seen some of my friends here too who keep on posting about it and 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 saying their disappointment about Nim. And sometimes it's very irritating, really very irritating because how dare they could name her and yet post it. What is their right? Oh, isang kaibigan ko, Irene. Irene, nabasa ko yung post mo. And I am angry about that. I'm angry. Because how dare you? You pointed out to Nim. Kasi minsan nakala natin okay yung pagiging supladita natin sa online, Irene. Hindi tama eh. Hindi tama. I am telling my friends, it is not right to condemn someone simply because they are experiencing hardship. It is not right. Irene, kaibigan kita. That's why I have to speak up like this, okay? If you are not my friend, I will not be speaking like this. I am not telling you to infringe on your freedom to write on your Facebook. I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you not to write it. Write it as much as you can. I'm not blocking you. I'm not unfriending you because I consider you my friend. But I'd like to tell you here, I disagree with what you did. I disagree with how you and your friends bully her in your timeline. I disagree. My friends, I'd like you to think twice about your behavior. Is this something that is redeeming? Is this something that is showing our value of the gospel? Is this something that is showing our value of malasakit? These are Filipino values. Value of malasakit. Because this value of malasakit is also the value of aloha aina. You pride yourself to be Filipinos, but you cannot show compassion to your fellow Filipino. Now I dare you. I dare you. Show that compassion if you are truly Filipino. Because a true Filipino will not bring down another Filipino. A true Filipino will lift up the other Filipino. Okay? But regardless of any nationality, we should be lifting up everyone, not only choosing only one. Hindi lang yung mga kababayan natin. Hindi lang yung mga kababayan natin. And this is what I am doing today to show you what is aloha aina. Okay? But aloha aina, the value of compassion, the value of caring for one another is first shown with our relationship to God, to our spirituality, to ourselves. And sometimes we will need to be silent, to listen, and to watch where we came from, where is the source of our strength, so that we will find the ways how to practice this aloha ina, how to practice this value of malasakit, how to be silent, how to be gentle in the way we relate to each other, and not just post on Facebook about your disappointment with some of our kababayan just simply because you think that they are supladita online, right? If they are supladita, should you be also suplada to them? This should not be our way. Our way should be something that gives life to another, not to bully another one. That's why I am putting up this to give consolation not only to people, not only to these people, but also consolation to ourselves, for us to rethink of what we are doing. And so now, let us focus ourselves on this chant. This chant tells something about the source of life. And then, you may not be understanding the lyrics, but the lyric goes like, where is this source of life? This source of life is there. The life of Kani, the water of Kani. And kani for me is the water that comes from God, the water from Jesus. Okay? And so I will be dancing about this, my reflection about the water of life. And it's just only a meditation because every time that I will dance, I'd like it to start first with a prayer. So please watch me and pray with me. Not ready. Okay.
He ui he ninau. E uia kua uia oi. Ai ai hea ka vai a kāne.
Ai ai kai kina kala.
E uia kua uia oi. Ai ai hea ka vai a kāne. Ai ai kai kina kala. Pukai hae hae. Ai ai laila ka vai a kāne. E uia kona au ia oi. Ai ai hea ka vai a kāne.
Ai ai kaulana kala.
E uia kona au ia oi. Ai ai hea ka vai a kāne. Ai ai kaulana kala I ka pai o pua I ke kai. E a mai ana mani hoa maka mole mai o le hua. Ai ai laila ka vai a kāne. He ui he ninau. E uia kua uia oi. Ai ai hea ka vai a kāne.
Ai ai kai kina kala.
E uia kua uia oi. Ai ai hea ka vai a kāne. Ai ai kai kina kala. Pukai hae hae. Ai ai laila ka vai a kāne. E uia kona au ia oi. Ai ai hea ka vai a kāne.
Ai ai kaulana kala.
E uia kona uia oi. Ai ai hea ka vai a kāne. Ai ai kaulana kala I ka pai o pua I ke kai. E a mai ana mani hoa maka mole mai o le hua. Ai ai laila ka vai a kāne.
That is my prayer. Whenever I pray with my halaw, whenever before we start our lessons, we are doing an opening prayer, and our opening prayer is that ritual, that chant. Sometimes we get angry with the situation, with what is happening around. And the problem is how to contain this anger, right? And sometimes that's why there are needs sometimes that we need to retreat and reflect and meditate. And sometimes dancing like hula is a way to get ourselves into that level of peacefulness, so that when we are at peace, we're able to think, we're able to feel, we are able to empathize, to be compassionate with other people. The word for solidarity among Hawaiian is Huliamahi. That's why I am doing this. This is part of the tradition in Huliamahi. Hula is not just a dance. Some of my students enrolled in my online school simply because they got attracted to the. But my responsibility as a teacher is not just to teach them the dance, but also to impart to them the values and knowledge that I have of what Aloha Aina is. And part of that is the Huliamahi, solidarity. So solidarity, that's why I'm doing this in solidarity with our workers here. First of all, it's simply because I understand how you feel. I understand your struggle. Just a while ago, I was talking to another friend, and she said she couldn't get the CRB because she has lots of income already, and then but she still feels so much pain too because she needs help too, and then her husband is out of job too, and so I understand these pains and I'm listening to them. And in our ways, we are trying to contribute into this Huliamahi. I couldn't do what you guys are doing, especially those in the union. I don't have that courage to face up, confront the management. I don't have that. Maybe that's why I'm always getting laid off. And but I have high regards to the management, and I'm just quite lucky that I had really good working relationships with my past works here in this and maybe I'm hoping that I'll be back again soon. I'm just scared to go back to work. It's because I have an underlying condition too. Matanda na eh. I'm getting older, so I have all this I'm not that young anymore, so I might be susceptible to be infected by this COVID-19. Talking about that feelings that sometimes we get so angry, right? Sometimes it's difficult to contain that anger when you have it. But it's good if there is someone there as a friend who could understand and just listen, right? That's why I have another song here for you. When I was planning to be doing this, because I cannot do what you guys are doing, but this is my contribution to dance hula for you. So this other song was composed 150 years ago. Not 150, 118 years ago. This was written in anger, in the pit of anger, this song. The title of this song is Kaulana Napua. Kaulana means proud. Napua means flower, proud flower. What does it refers? The flower here refers to the Hawaiian people. And so what was the context? In 1898, I guess, or 1896, they were forcibly annexed by the United States, and the Queen Liliuokalani was deposed. So there was this rebellion led by the Americans because they overpowered the natives in there, and then they overthrow the monarchy in the guise that they are establishing a republic, the new Republic of Hawaii then. And so those faithful to the queen would like to fight back, but the queen, Liliuokalani, said no, don't fight back, because this is not in the spirit of aloha. In fact, what they did not resist. There's no bloodshed. No bloodshed. So the foreign invaders came and deposed the queen, established their own government in Hawaii. But they didn't know that the queen was writing them songs every day. songs for her people. And they were exchanging songs. They call this mele. And then, of course, the Americans, they didn't know the meaning of the songs. But the songs has double meaning, because the song is so beautiful, so smooth, so gentle, but it was telling the people that you have to stay strong. You have to stay calm. Hi, Maria. I see you say hi. You keep watching, show your support to our fellow workers. And not only that, this song, Kaulana na Pua, this reminds them of what the Queen was telling them. Be proud. Even if they took your sovereignty, they cannot take away your dignity. They cannot take away that gift in you as a people. And that gift is also in us if we believe in that. And that is within ourselves. In Filipino, we call it loob, kalooban. And for them, they call it the stone. And that stone is symbolized by the lava stone. Because this lava, when it is too hot, it is fluid, but you cannot touch it or else it will burn you, right? But then when it hardens, when it gets cold, then a lot of things you can do with that. It can also be made into fertilizer. It can grow something from that lava. And sometimes this lava, sometimes they use it to cook their as a fire, yung to cook their food. Madali siyang, para siyang coal eh. And so, they told her, do not be scared. You have the stone with you. You have the land with you. Nurture the land, nurture the stone. The stone is in yourself. And so I'm telling you, workers, those who feel less consoled, those who feel broken, do not be scared. Because the stone is in you. The power is in you to lift up yourself from that. And then all we have to do is just simply to recognize how beautiful you are. You are Kaulana na Pua. You are the beautiful flower. You are the proud flower. Kaulana is proud. Kaulana, beautiful flower, proud flower. So, I'll be dancing to this patriotic song, Kaulana na Pua.
Kaulana na Pua o Hawaii, Tupama hope o kaina, hiki mai ka elele o ka loko ino, pala pala anunu me ka paka. Kaulana na Pua o Hawaii, yeah. kapuana ka poe I aloha o ka ina Maule maoli urari Aloha ai ka pono ka ina A ina ia mai ana kapuana Ka poe I aloha o ka ina
Have you experienced getting jealous? Have you experienced getting jealous? Bakit siya may CRB kami, hindi kami mabigyan ng CRB? Right? He is receiving 2,000 monthly, but I work too hard. And I only earn only 1,000 a month or 1,500 less than. Mabuti pa sila. Don't you feel that? Karaingan ng iba. Some people were complaining because they are not receiving how much other people who are more blessed like me. It's too bad I'm laughing. I should not be laughing simply because I should have empathy with those people who are working too hard and yet they don't earn that much. My heart also breaks for you. I understand that feeling of jealousy. But remember, you are special. You are special. And this song tells something about that. Some people may be blessed, but there are times that the blessings will be yours. But what is important is that we don't hoard this blessing, that we share this blessing to others, because this is what Aloha Ina is. And it's an assurance that even if you are taken for granted, you are not really taken for granted. There are other people who takes care of you, who will be loving you. Like our workers, you have the unions there to damayan ka, show them your some sympathy, some consolation, and I am here also to show you some consolation, so you are not alone. And that is what the next song is all about. This song is all about the mountain of Ahulili, okay, in Hawaii. If you went to Maui, there is this small mountain there called Ahulili. And some people were saying this hill is so poor because it's never been visited by mist, yung bang mga hamog o kaya yung mga ulap, unlike other mountains where there's so much mist, so much rain, but this one none. But yet this is a wonderful place. That's why the singer in this song is saying that you are not forgotten. Just likewise, all of you are not forgotten here. You are so special, and remember that. So this spirit of Aloha Aina is always a reminder to each of one that each are important. Okay? And so, Ahulili.
ka olu ke ala pupaoa alava ko make manene ai ko kino Ako aku au I ka pua Kui no vau ai le poina no na ka I hoe apa Kaini me ka nyo Kauana o ino ka ua Ka beauty a o mauna hape Kaina mai ka puana E aloha no ahuli He lili paha koina I ke kauma ole Kaina mai ka puana Aloha no ahuli Heli paha koia I ke mau ole ia
Next one and the last. Have you experienced being abandoned? And sometimes even in the midst of a struggle, you are left by yourself. You are just alone by yourself. Nobody is around anymore. I felt so many times being abandoned. And so this song is not far from that experience. Have you heard about the story of Hosea? Hosea is a prophet. Have you heard that? The prophet Hosea, the Lord told him, I will tell you how much I love my people by making you fall in love with a harlot, so that you will feel how it is being betrayed, and you will seek her to return to you, for her to ask for your forgiveness. And that's what happened to Hosea. So Hosea married a woman who had a lot of affairs, and then he was brokenhearted. Now he understands how the Lord loves us because of that powerful experience of falling in love, right? And then he says, just come back to me and I will accept you. Sometimes love is so crazy, Dead na dead tayo. Nagpapakatanga para doon sa minamahal. But that is a reality. I experienced that too. Kaya nga ako nandito sa Canada eh. That's why I'm here. I was brought here by my ex. And then, yun, wawa na. But, the good thing is that we come through it. And then we heal ourselves. We are now renewed. And yet, we are not so bitter about the past that we had. Right? And yet, we are still hopeful. We learn from that experience, and yet not getting discouraged of loving other people. This is because this is what aloha is. Aloha is compassion, love, and respect. Just like what the Queen Liliuokalani was saying in the Kaulana Napuha. We respect whatever yung ruling government, di ba? Kaya nga hindi sila nag-oppose. But yet, they still have that sense of identity. That's what we need also. So, I don't know kung yung mga, I don't know if whatever we are lobbying, if they will be giving us, I do not know. We just hope, we just pray, right? So that's my consolation for all those workers, So I have that empathy for you, and then my prayer, my manao, my wish that soon you get reinstated, because my friends, these workers, they have been rallying since October. Hindi lang to recently. This is not recent. Those circulating around, they're not telling you the whole truth. They are just telling you only a part of the truth, which is what Nim was saying. They just splice it and make it sensationalized. That part about CRB, which is not the main point of Nim. Her main point is about what they are struggling to settle with the management, Kaso lang, it's really so unfortunate that this pandemic gets through this, and so the management has an excuse to terminate everyone, It is so sad. It's really so sad. So instead of us getting angry at them, they deserve our compassion. Our malasakit, di ba? Malasakit. So those Filipinos, malasakit. What is malasakit? Malasakit here comes from sakit, which means pain. Mala, it's a suffix in Tagalog, which means approximating. Mala, something like sakit, something like that. So malasakit means if I have malasakit to you, I have that pain too. But I will try to experience that pain too. To feel your pain so that I understand your pain. That is what malasakit. And us Filipinos should know more what malasakit is all about and not condemn people simply because of what they say. Okay? We look beyond what they say. Just like some of my friends who are posting invectives against Nim here. I'm trying to look beyond what you were saying. Kahit na naiinis ako sa inyo. I'm trying to understand your fears. Because I know you are in fear. Who else is not because of this pandemic? I know you are angry. It's simply because you cannot receive a CERB. Then this someone who receives CERB is complaining. I know you are angry. That's why you are posting those nasty messages on Facebook. But please, this is what I'm telling you. Hinay-hinay. Have compassion, have malasakit. My next and last dance is just a reminder for us that there is a God who is always calling us to himself. And simply because he is the first one who has that malasakit, he looks at us, a very special people, Each of us, a very special creation. That's why we have this responsibility to nurture this creation, okay? To provide this aloha aina and express this in our own little ways. My own little way is doing this hula. And my last dance is dancing to this song, Kulei avapui. Lei avapui means a ginger flower. This ginger flower is very fragrant. I don't know if you have smelled that flower. We had that before. My mother always buy a bunch of it in Manila, Manila. And then it's so fragrant that once you have that, it fills the whole room. It's like smells like sampaguita, but sampaguita has a different smell. Abapui is a different smell. And so I'll be dancing to this Lei Abapui. And this Lei Abapui, the song goes like this. He is calling for the beloved, like you. And you are the beloved, the Avapui. So beautiful, so fragrant, so special to this God. And He wants you to come back to Him. That's why I relate this to the song of Hosea. I relate this to the prophet Hosea, who has so much love and compassion for his wife. And likewise, God also has the same love and compassion for us, that no matter how hurtful we are doing to each other, He will always come for us, seeking for us, inviting us back to Him. And so, for my last dance, Kulei Avapuhi, may you find God in this song.
E kualoha e kualoha
And this ends our Huliamahi solidarity with our workers. If you have anything to say, please do mention it now. You can write down your comments, or if you want to say something, it's okay with me. Please write down, acknowledge if you are here, and then especially those from the union. I will be replaying this. If you are around, please show your solidarity with the workers by simply saying hi here, waving your hands, and then the workers, if you are a worker who are in distress, show us some love, show us some aloha, and then just acknowledge that you are around, and thank you for being here. And it's a pleasure to be around here. So my manao, my wish manao, is the good wish in Hawaii is that you will have good life, you will have this aloha aina to everyone, and mahalo. Good night.